Everyone, welcome back. Well, today we are talking about some packing tips and ways to make your packing smarter, easier for you. I make a lot of videos about travel and packing, and those are some of your favorites. If you've not seen those and you're new here, hello, welcome. My name's Crystal. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any future videos. And I have a playlist on my channel about like my packing tips and things like that. And then I also have the separate like cruise tips and cruise vlogs. So I thought I would just share my top 10 travel tips that I always use, and they've definitely made my life easier. So I'm gonna start with number one would be packing cubes. You guys have all heard of packing cubes, I'm sure by now. I have been using them for several years now, and I have several different ones, and I often buy new ones now and again just to try out new ones to see what I like. They come in many colors, different price points. You can pretty much get anything you want on Amazon these days. I will list my favorites below. I will list all the items I'm talking about below. Well, I've recently ordered a new set and I'm really liking these. One, I love the fun color. Again, they come in a lot of fun colors. It was between this really pretty blue and the pink stripe. But I like that it's many different sizes. The zipper is very nice. They're not all created equal. You can get some cheap ones and the zippers mess up or they kind of fall apart. I like these because I like packing cubes to have a little bit of substantial sides to them, basically, so they could kind of stand up on their own if you had them filled. So many of them I find are real flimsy and I just don't like those. I like these. These are very similar to some of my all-time favorites. So really enjoy packing cubes because they really just keep your suitcase organized. I tend to put like items in each packing cube. For instance, like, oh, this is my sleepwear, or my sleepwear and I'm gonna put my bras in with it, or my swimwear I put in one. Or any kind of shirts that I don't want wrinkled or whatever will all be in one. So definitely I try to put like items and it just makes it easier. And I love because it actually makes more room, I feel like, in my suitcase. And again, I'm all about organization. Number two is jewelry. So packing jewelry is something I get asked a lot about. I've shown some different things over the years. Some of the things you can't get anymore. Maybe they're no longer available. I use different things depending on what kind of trip. So if I'm literally just going a couple of nights, I will bring minimal jewelry and I'll reuse like the little felt bags that you can sometimes get. Like I have some from Bauble Bar, J. Crew, just different ones. And I will put those inside of like a little handbag that I'm taking. But if I'm going on a longer trip and I have specific pieces, maybe it's certain events or whatever, I like to keep my jewelry nice and organized. And I've been actually wearing a lot more dainty pieces recently, and I found something really specific I like for those. So this is my newest one. Again, this comes in a couple other colors, but see how flat it is? I love that. I had shown something years ago on my channel by Vera Bradley that she no longer makes. She may make something similar now, but for many years it was hard to find. The reason why I loved it, it was flat. You could fit a lot in it. So when I found this and it was flat, I was like, yep, I have to get this, try it out, let you guys know. One of the things I love about this, see these little snaps up here? They are great for your daintier necklaces. So like I have on a coin necklace here. It's not going to get tangled up with all my other necklaces, so I can snap it in here. You just put it in there, and then the rest of it hangs down in here in the elastic part. Love that. Genius for packing. I know you can put them in straws and all that kind of crazy stuff we've seen on Pinterest. That's just like too much for me. I want everything kind of right here together. I love that it has this little pouch in the middle so you could put bracelets or anything like that in there. I always seem to have like some big cuff bracelets or something. And then on this side, let me switch again here. This side has this little plastic thing and you can't see, but there's holes in it. So it would be great for your stud earrings. And again, it has some elastic here, and you could put rings here, and there's a zipper compartment here. You know, you can just make it work however you want to make it work for you. But the main thing is I loved how flat it was and that you could put those dainty necklaces, whether they're long or short, in there. Number three is shoe bags. And you might be asking yourself, why do I need shoe bags? I find that I actually have more room in my suitcase when I put my shoes in individual shoe bags. Now, I have a couple of different kinds. I have actual bags that I will put my sneakers or something in one bag. And I like to have that bag because it serves multiple purposes if I need an extra bag for like wet clothes or something else, you know. But for all other shoes, sandals, high heels, wedges, you name it, I use these individual like shoe bags. I have them in different colors, navy, and you literally put one shoe in each bag. And I'm telling you, you have more room in your suitcase. If you're trying to put your shoes together, it doesn't seem to work. And I don't want my shoes up against anything else. Now, I do keep my shoes and my clothing separate in my suitcase. I have a hard side, and I think those are great for organization and keeping things separate. I actually have a video showing like how I pack a suitcase and to keep it organized. I will link that below. But my shoes, I basically put them in the bottom of one side of my suitcase, and I pack them in there like little puzzle pieces, however they go. They don't need to like stick together as a pair. I find that way they're not flying all over the suitcase, and it keeps them protected, and I just have more room. So I absolutely always travel with these, and I just think they're a must-have. Ever since I discovered them, like I can't go any trip without these shoe bags. Number 4 is a laundry bag. Now, I have mentioned this before. There's actually in the new packing cubes a pretty good sized drawstring bag that you could use as a laundry bag. Now, I have mentioned these certain ones from Container Store and Amazon for years. I love that they fold up really, really small, and then they're nylon, they have a drawstring. I just hang them up in a closet wherever I'm at, whether hotel or cruise. If it's a short trip, my husband and I use one together. If it's a long trip, then we each have one. I just think they're great. That way, you know, your smelly, wet, whatever clothes are not up against anything else. Even when going back home, I like to have that separate. And the ones in a hotel or something, they're never big enough. So I just love to always have a laundry bag. Number 5 is a makeup bag, and specifically is packing that makeup bag a couple of days out before your trip. I'm sure a lot of you know this, but maybe you don't, and it's just one of those things that makes life easier. That way you're not forgetting anything on a trip. You know, maybe you're somewhere where you can just run to the drugstore or run to a department store and get something if you forget, but a lot of times if you're on a vacation out of the country, that's not so easy. So what I do is just put my makeup, I literally will set with it on my vanity as I'm putting on my makeup a few days before. I will put things in that makeup bag. Same with the makeup brushes. I will set them out. So everything I use, it's out and I'm already good to go. I'm not forgetting something. Number 6 is the toiletry bag to keep packed. This goes along kind of the same lines a little bit as a makeup bag, but I always keep my toiletry bag packed, always. And then before every trip, I bring it out. Now I do switch out my toiletry bag depending on if it's a short trip. I will put things in a much smaller bag, but this main large bag stays in my travel closet. I just get it out. I look at what I need to replenish, whether that's Q-tips, cotton pads, shampoo, you name it. And then it goes in there and I'm good to go. But the bulk of it is always good to go. And I love that because it's just so much less stressful than trying to remember every single thing you want to take. I just always leave it packed and replenishment. To me, that's just like a great travel tip. 7 is an empty tote bag. Now, I've mentioned this before, but to me, this is just a must-have when traveling, especially like on a longer vacation where you know you might do some shopping, there's souvenirs, whatever. I always bring this with me. This is a Longchamp bag. I've talked about this many times. I love it because it folds up. So it doesn't take up any room in the suitcase. I literally just throw it at the bottom of the suitcase. Don't have to worry about it, but I always have an extra bag if I need it. It is a great pool bag if you happen to not want to bring a separate one. So because it's nylon, so not only do I have an extra bag if I have things I need to bring back from vacation, and I have a pool bag all in one. We also have a zip up, God, we bought this years ago when we went to Italy. We will have a zip up duffel bag. So it basically zips up into a square. It's a really big bag. So again, if you're overloaded, you bought extra clothes, souvenirs, whatever, and you need that extra bag to take things back with you, it's just great to have with you. Again, most of them lay pretty flat on the bottom of the suitcase. So number 8 is extra charging cords, and basically all your little electronic bags. So I have two here to show you. This is my normal one where everything lives. And then if it's a shorter trip and we don't need that much, I actually transfer them into this really, really thin bag from Eagle Creek. Those are my other favorite packing cubes, by the way. So this is super thin. This was part of a little set, I think, but it's super small. It's has the mesh right there. You can just see in it, but it fits in any bag, any carry-on, just enough to bring, you know, your cords, chargers, whatever you need. So you can see mine's pretty full, but again, this is kind of where everything lives all the time, and we either bring this or transfer it. But you know, again, it's got all your extra cords. I've talked about this a million times. This is what we bring on cruises because there's no external plug. It's integrated, so you can bring it on there and not have a problem. And then we also have a lot of locks and stuff for our suitcase. But I just think always having everything in one place is, again, kind of like the toiletry bag. You know, it's just right there, all your electronics, extra cords, and you're good to go. So number 9 would be your copies of your driver's license, your passport, and your credit card. So this is especially helpful if you're going out of the country. My husband and I always travel with copies of these things because if your credit card gets stolen, you need the information, especially the back. Don't forget to copy the front and the back, because the back is what has the 1-800 number on it that you can call and report it missing or stolen. We always take a copy of our driver's license just in case, our passports, and again, like I said, the credit cards that we're bringing with us. We leave usually a copy either with someone in the safe, something. We always have copies of those, and I just recommend everybody travel with that. And last would be to try on clothes. There are so many of you that I've recommended this to you and you don't do this and you're wondering why you overpack. I used to be an overpacker. I would say I still can be now and again, especially if I'm driving in the car. I think a lot of people, if you're on a driving vacation, it's just like anything goes. As much as can fit in the vehicle, it doesn't matter. But we fly a lot for vacation, so I am needing to be as efficient as possible. And I find trying on my outfits, especially like for a cruise or anything you're gonna have like specific items for that you want certain looks, you've gotta try them on. That's just my number 1 tip for any kind of vacation is try your clothes on before. Lay them out before, especially if like you're going to Europe or somewhere you're wanting to pack light and maybe the weather is going to run a big range of temperatures. You want to have those layers and lay out everything and look at it and see, does this go together? Can I wear this multiple ways? I've been doing this for several years and I'm telling you, it has definitely helped my packing game. I no longer overpack. I will occasionally bring like an extra outfit or two just in case I change my mind or, you know, the weather is really unpredictable. But trying things on, laying them out. I actually have a garment rack that I love to use prior to vacations just because I'm more of a visual person. If I see them all laid out, I can see, okay, am I missing something? But trying them on, and maybe even if you want to take photos in your cell phone to have everything together. Like I've done that for certain events. Like I've laid out my outfit on the bed or on the garment rack. I've put my shoes, my jewelry, the bag, everything so that I'm not scrambling going, oh my gosh, what was I gonna wear with this? So again, trying on clothes, laying them out is definitely a must-have packing tip. I will link any video I have referenced below, any playlist, all the items I've talked about. If you guys have a must-have packing tip, leave it in the comments below. I'd love to see it. Again, if you're not yet subscribed, please do so you don't miss any future videos. I'd love to have you back. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.